Have you thought about how you can meet someone who doesn't know you are the prince? Prince Ifanyi shook his head. I haven't. Do you have any ideas? Chidi smiled thoughtful. What if you disguise yourself as a commoner and travel to another village? This way, you could meet someone who sees you as an ordinary man, not as the prince of Ebenabo. Prince Ifanyi was a prince of Ebenabo kingdom in Igbo land. He was a good prince that everyone loved and respected. From a young age, he showed kindness and wisdom beyond his years. People admired him for his gentle nature and his strong sense of justice. Whenever someone in the village needed help, Prince Ifanyi was always there, ready to lend a hand. One day, as the sun rose over Ebenabo, the marketplace was bustling with activity. Children ran around, laughing and playing, while traders shouted to attract customers. In the midst of this lively scene, Prince Ifanyi walked with his father, King Obina, and his mother, Queen Ifunanya. They smiled and greeted the villagers warmly. Ifanyi, my son, said King Obina, placing a hand on his shoulder. You have always made us proud. The people of Ebenabo hold you in high regard because of your good deeds. Queen Ifunanya nodded in agreement. Yes, my son, your heart is pure and you have always think of others first. We are blessed to have you as our son. Prince Ifanyi smiled humbly. Thank you, father. Thank you, mother. I love our kingdom and our people. I will always do my best to make them happy. The villagers cheered as the royal family walked by. Long live Prince Ifanyi, they shouted. May he continue to bring joy to Ebenabo. As the years went by, Prince Ifanyi grew into a fine young man. He was tall and strong, with eyes that sparkled with kindness. The villagers respected him not only for his royal blood, but also for his good heart. Whenever there was a dispute, Prince Ifanyi would listen patiently and find a fair solution. One day, Prince Ifanyi called a meeting with his parents. Father, mother, he began, I have been thinking a lot lately. I want to learn more about the world beyond our kingdom. I believe that by gaining more knowledge, I can serve our people better. King Obina looked at his son with pride. Ifanyi, your desire to learn and grow is admirable. It shows that you are a true leader. We will support you in your journey. Queen Ifunanya added, we will miss you dearly, but know that this is important for you and our kingdom. Go, my son, and return with great knowledge. Prince Ifanyi prepared for his journey with a mix of excitement and sadness. The day he left, the entire village gathered to bid him farewell. Elder Chukwuemeka, the village elder, gave him a special blessing. May the gods guide you and protect you, Prince Ifanyi. Elder Chukwuemeka said, may your journey be safe and may you return to us with wisdom and strength. Prince Ifanyi bowed respectfully. Thank you, Elder Chukwuemeka. I promise to make Ebenabo proud. With tears in their eyes, the villagers watched as Prince Ifanyi rode away. They knew that their beloved prince would return someday, even better than before. Years passed, and the news of Prince Ifanyi's accomplishments reached Ebenabo. He studied hard, excelling in his studies and making many friends. His letters to his parents were filled with stories of his adventures and the new things he learned. One day, a messenger arrived in Ebenabo with wonderful news. Prince Ifanyi is coming home, the messenger announced. He has completed his studies with flying colors and will return to the kingdom soon. The entire village was filled with joy and anticipation. Preparations for Prince Ifanyi's return began immediately. The marketplace was decorated with colorful banners, and everyone practiced songs and dances to welcome their prince home. On the day of his return, the villagers gathered at the entrance of the kingdom. Children lined up with flowers, and musicians played cheerful tunes. King Obinna and Queen Ifunanya stood at the front, their faces glowing with pride. As the sun set, Prince Ifanyi's carriage appeared on the horizon. The villagers erupted in cheers, their voices echoing through the hills. "Welcome home, Prince Ifanyi," they shouted. "We have missed you." The carriage came to a stop, and Prince Ifanyi stepped out, looking handsome and confident. He bowed to his parents, who embraced him warmly. "My son," King Obinna said, his voice filled with emotion, "you have made us so proud. Welcome back to Ebenabo." Queen Ifunanya added, "We have missed you so much, Ifanyi. The kingdom has not been the same without you." Prince Ifanyi smiled, his heart swelling with happiness. "I have missed you all too. I have learned so much, and I am eager to share my knowledge and experiences with our people." The villagers cheered again as Prince Ifanyi walked among them, shaking hands and exchanging kind words. "Thank you, everyone," he said. "Your love and support mean the world to me. I am home, and together we will make Ebenabo even greater." The celebration lasted long into the night. The people of Ebenabo danced and sang, their hearts filled with joy. Prince Ifanyi looked around at his beloved kingdom, feeling grateful and inspired. He knew that his journey was just beginning, and that with the support of his family and people, he could achieve great things for Ebenabo. After the prince settled in, his parents brought up the topic of marriage. One evening, as they sat together in the grand dining hall of the palace, King Obinna and Queen Ifunanya decided it was time to discuss an important matter with their son. "Ifanyi, my dear," Queen Ifunanya began gently, her eyes full of love and concern. "Now that you have returned home and completed your studies, your father and I believe it is time for you to consider marriage." King Obinna nodded in agreement. "Yes, my son, you are of age, and the people of Ebenabo look up to you. Finding a wife and starting a family is an important step for the future of our kingdom." Prince Ifanyi listened attentively, understanding the importance of their words. "Father, mother," he said respectfully, "I understand the importance of marriage, but there is something I need to be sure of before I take that step." Queen Ifunanya looked at her son with curiosity. "What is it, Ifanyi? You can tell us anything." Prince Ifanyi took a deep breath. "I am worried that the women in our village know me as the prince and will marry me only for my status. I want to find someone who loves me for who I truly am, not because of my title." King Obinna and Queen Ifunanya exchanged a thoughtful glance. "We understand your concern, Ifanyi," said King Obinna. "It's important to find true love. Take your time and follow your heart." Feeling reassured by his parents' understanding, Prince Ifanyi decided to confide in his best friend Chidi, who had always been a source of wise advice. One sunny afternoon, the two friends sat together in the palace garden, surrounded by blooming flowers and the soothing sound of birds singing. "Chidi," Prince Ifanyi began, "I need to talk to you about something important." Chidi nodded, sensing the seriousness in his friend's voice. "Of course, Prince Ifanyi. What is on your mind?" Prince Ifanyi sighed, looking at the vibrant garden around them. "My parents, they want me to get married, but I'm worried that the women in our village only see me as the prince. I want to find someone who loves me for who I truly am." Chidi looked carefully, understanding his friend's worry. "Ifanyi, I can see why this worries you. It is important to find genuine love. Have you thought about how you can meet someone who doesn't know you are the prince?" Prince Ifanyi shook his head. "I haven't. Do you have any ideas?" Chidi smiled thoughtful. What if you disguise yourself as a commoner and travel to another village? This way, you could meet someone who sees you as an ordinary man, not as the Prince of Ebenabo. Prince Ifanyi's eyes lit up with excitement. That is a brilliant idea, Chidi. It would give me a chance to find true love without my status getting into the way. Thank you for your wise advice. Chidi nodded, pleased to see his friend so hopeful. I am happy to help, Ifanyi. Remember, be yourself and let your heart guide you. I am sure you will find the love you are looking for. Prince Ifanyi felt a surge of hope and gratitude. I will do just that. Thank you, my friend. Your support means a lot to me. Later that night, Prince Ifanyi sat down with his parents to discuss his plans. The flickering light from the oil lamps cast a warm glow in the room, creating a serene atmosphere for their important conversation. Father, mother, Prince Ifanyi began. I have decided to follow Chidi's advice and travel to another village in search of your wife. I believe this is the best way to find true love. King Obina and Queen Ifunanya exchanged worried glances. Ifanyi, Queen Ifunanya said gently, we understand your desire to find true love, but there are many beautiful young women here in our village. Why not choose from among them and settle down? It would save you a lot of trouble. Prince Ifanyi shook his head. I know, mother, but I fear that the women here know me only as the prince. I want to find someone who will love me for who I am, not because of my title. Please, understand my need to do this. King Obina sighed deeply. Son, your mother and I want what is best for you. We worry about the dangers you might face on such a journey. But if this is truly what you believe you must do, we will support you. Just promise us you will be careful and return home soon. I promise, father, Ifanyi said earnestly. I will be careful and I will return as soon as I can. Queen Ifunanya nodded, her eyes filled with both pride and concern. Very well, Ifanyi, but please take enough food and supplies with you. We will help you prepare for your journey. The next morning, Prince Ifanyi began making arrangements for his travel. He decided to disguise himself as a common trader to avoid drawing attention. He visited the market and bought simple clothes like those worn by traders. He also found an old worn-out pair of shoes and a large sack bag to complete his disguise. This would do perfectly, Ifanyi thought to himself as he looked at his new attire. No one will recognize me as the prince in these clothes. His parents watched him prepare with a mix of worry and pride. Queen Ifunanya made sure to pack enough food for the journey. She filled a large basket of bread, dried meat, fruits and water. Take this with you, Ifanyi, she said, handing him the basket. You will need it for the journey. Remember to eat well and stay strong. Thank you, mother, Ifanyi said, taking the basket gratefully. I will take good care of myself. King Obina placed a hand on his son's shoulder. Be wise, my son. Trust your instincts and be cautious of strangers. And always remember that we are here, waiting for your safe return. I will, father, Ifanyi replied, feeling a surge of emotion. Thank you both for your support and understanding. With everything ready, Prince Ifanyi set out on his journey. He walked through the village, now dressed as a humble trader. The villagers greeted him warmly, not recognizing him in his new attire. He felt a sense of excitement and freedom as he left Ebenabo and headed towards the neighboring village of Umudim. The journey was long, but the beautiful countryside made it enjoyable. Ifanyi admired the lush green fields, the tall trees, and the vibrant flowers that lined the path. He felt at peace, knowing he was on a quest for true love. After several hours of walking, Ifanyi finally arrived at Umudim. It was a small, peaceful village with friendly people. He noticed children playing in the streets, women selling goods at the market, and the men working hard in the fields. Excuse me, Ifanyi said to a passerby. Can you tell me where I can find a place to stay? The passerby, a kind man named Okeke, smiled warmly. Welcome to Umudim Traveler. You can stay at Neka's Inn. It's just down the road. She will take good care of you. Thank you, Ifani replied gratefully. I appreciate your help. Ifeanyi made his way to Nneka's Inn and introduced himself as a trader looking for a place to stay. Nneka, a kind and hospitable woman, welcomed him with open arms. Welcome, Ifeanyi, she said, showing him a modest room. Make yourself at home. If you need anything, please let me know. Thank you, Nneka, Ifeanyi said, feeling relieved. I appreciate your hospitality. As Ifeanyi settled into his new surroundings, he felt a sense of hope and excitement. He knew that his journey to find true love had just begun. With his parents' blessings and the support of his best friend, he was ready to explore Umudim and discover if this village held the key to his heart's desire. After the prince had settled in, Nneka, the kind innkeeper, approached him with a curious look. She had been wondering about the new guest staying at her inn. Good evening, Ifeanyi. Nneka greeted with a warm smile. I hope you are finding everything to your liking here. Yes, thank you, Nneka. Ifeanyi replied, returning her smile. You have been very kind and hospitable. Nneka nodded, but her curiosity got the better of her. Ifeanyi, if you don't mind me asking, what brought you to Umudim, and who are you really? Ifeanyi had prepared for this question. He knew he had to stick to his disguise to find what he was looking for. I am from a faraway kingdom, he began, choosing his words carefully. I am a common trader who has come to Umudim to work and hopefully find a wife. Nneka looked at him thoughtfully. A wife, you say? Well, that might be a bit difficult. The women here often look for rich men to marry. It might not be easy for a humble trader like yourself. Ifeanyi nodded, understanding the challenge ahead. I appreciate your honesty, Nneka, but I believe in trying my luck. Who knows what the future holds? Nneka smiled, admiring his determination. Well, Ifeanyi, I wish you the best of luck. Keep your heart open, and you never know what might happen. Thank you, Nneka, Ifeanyi said gratefully. Your support means a lot to me. That night, Nneka invited Ifeanyi to join her for dinner. They sat together at a small table in the inn, enjoying a simple but delicious meal. After dinner, they moved to the porch, where the cool evening breeze carried the scent of blooming flowers. The sky was clear and the stars twinkled brightly above them. As they watched the stars, Nneka began to share stories about Umudim and its people. Umudim is a small village, but it is rich in history and culture, she said. The people here are hardworking and kind, but they can also be very particular about certain things. Ifeanyi listened intently, eager to learn more about the village. Tell me more, Nneka. What are the people like here? Nneka smiled, pleased by his interest. The villagers are very community-oriented. They look out for one another and take pride in their traditions. However, many of the young women here dream of marrying wealthy men who can provide them with a comfortable life. It is a common aspiration, but not all of them are like that. Ifeanyi nodded, absorbing the information. I see. It sounds like a close-knit community. I hope I can find someone who values love and character over wealth. Nneka looked at him thoughtfully. You have a good heart, Ifeanyi. I am sure you will find someone who appreciates you for who you are. Just be patient and true to yourself. They continued to talk, sharing stories and laughter. Ifeanyi felt a sense of peace and contentment that he hadn't felt in a long time. The warmth of Nneka's hospitality and the beauty of the village made him feel at home. As the night grew deeper, Ifeanyi felt a sense of hope for the days ahead. Thank you, Nneka, for your kindness and for sharing these stories with me, He said, I feel more connected to Umudim already. You are welcome, Ifanyi. Nneka replied with a smile. I am glad to have you here. Rest well, and may tomorrow bring you closer to what you seek. Ifanyi nodded, feeling a sense of gratitude and optimism. Good night, Nneka. Good night, Ifanyi. Nneka replied, watching as he went to his room. Ifanyi entered his modest room, feeling a mix of excitement and anticipation. He lay down on his bed, thinking about the day's event and the possibilities that the next day might bring. The bed was simple but comfortable, and he found solace in the quiet and peaceful environment. As he drifted off to sleep, Ifanyi's thoughts were filled with hope and determination. He knew that his journey had just begun, and he was ready to embrace whatever challenges and opportunities lay ahead. With a heart full of dreams and a spirit unyielding, Prince Ifanyi slept peacefully, knowing that he was one step closer to finding the true love he sought. The stars outside continued to shine brightly, casting a gentle glow over the village of Umudim. And as the night passed, the promise of a new day awaited, full of hope and potential for Prince Ifanyi. Morning dawned brightly upon Umudim, the golden rays of the sun gently touching the rooftops and the lush green fields. Birds sang cheerfully, announcing the start of a new day. Ifanyi was still sleeping soundly in his room when Nneka, the kind innkeeper, came to wake him up. Good morning, Ifanyi, Nneka said softly, knocking on his door. It's time to get up. Your breakfast is on the table, so freshen up and eat before you start your day. Ifanyi stretched and rubbed his eyes, slowly waking up. Good morning, Nneka, he replied, grateful for her hospitality. Thank you for the breakfast. I will be done shortly. Nneka smiled and nodded. You are welcome. I have to head to the farm now, but if you need anything, just let me know. After Nneka left for the farm, Ifanyi stood up and got ready for the day. He washed his face, brushed his teeth, and dressed in the simple trader attire he had prepared. The clothes were modest and made him look like a common man. After freshening up, he went downstairs to find his breakfast waiting for him on the table. The meal was simple but hearty, consisting of freshly baked bread, some fruit and a cup of warm tea. Ifanyi ate with gratitude, feeling energized and ready for the day ahead. Once he finished breakfast, Ifanyi headed to the market. He walked through the bustling streets of Umudim, blending in with the locals. The market was alive with activity, filled with the sounds of traders calling out their goods and the lively chatter of villagers. Ifanyi approached a store and bought some yams with the money he had brought with him. He then set up a small spot outside the market to resell the yams. Dressed as a humble trader, he hoped to understand the daily lives of the people better and perhaps meet someone special. As the morning progressed, customers began to approach his store. Ifanyi greeted each one with a warm smile and friendly words. He was happy to make sales, and the villagers appreciated his courteous demeanor. Good morning, sir, Ifanyi said to a customer. Would you like to buy some fresh yams? They are of excellent quality. The customer inspected the yams and nodded. Yes, I will take 3 of them. They look very good. Thank you, Ifanyi replied, carefully packing the yams for the customer. Have a great day. The customer smiled and paid for the yams. You too, young man. You have a good heart. Ifanyi's heart felt light as he continued selling yams. He enjoyed interacting with the villagers and felt a sense of accomplishment with each sale. However, his day was not without its challenges. On his way home from the market, Ifanyi noticed a group of beautiful young women seated under a mango tree chatting and laughing. He decided to greet them, hoping to make new friends and possibly find someone who would see beyond his humble appearance. Good afternoon, Ifanyi said politely as he approached the women. How are you all doing today? The young women glanced at him briefly before turning away, whispering among themselves. They looked at him with disdain, clearly unimpressed by his appearance. One of the women, with a haughty expression, said, "Why is a poor trader like you talking to us? We have no time for someone like you." Ifeanyi felt a pang of sadness but managed a polite smile. "I just wanted to say hello, have a good day." Feeling disheartened, Ifeanyi continued on his way home. He couldn't shake off the feeling of rejection, but he reminded himself of his purpose and remained hopeful. When he arrived back at the inn, Nneka was there to greet him. He noticed the look on his face and asked, "Ifeanyi, how was your day at the market?" Ifeanyi sighed and began to narrate his experiences. "The market was busy, and I made some good sales. But when I tried to talk to some young women, they ignored me and looked at me disdainfully. It made me feel bad." Nneka listened attentively, a look of understanding on her face. "I am sorry that happened, Ifeanyi. Some people can be very judgmental based on appearances. But do not let that discourage you. You are doing well, and the right person will see the goodness in your heart." Ifeanyi nodded, feeling a bit better. "Thank you, Nneka. Your words mean a lot to me. I will keep trying and hope for better days ahead." Nneka smiled warmly. "You have a kind heart, Ifeanyi. Keep being yourself, and you will find what you are looking for." Feeling comforted by Nneka's encouragement, Ifeanyi went to his room to rest. As he lay on his bed, he reflected on the day's event. Despite the challenges, he remained hopeful and determined to find true love. The stars outside twinkled brightly, filling him with a renewed sense of optimism for the days to come. Days passed, and Ifeanyi continued working hard. He sold yams in the market, interacted with the villagers, and learned more about the people of Umudim. Though his days were busy, the evenings provided him with moments of quiet reflection. One evening, after finishing his work at the market, Ifeanyi decided to take a walk around the village. The cool breeze and the setting sun created a peaceful atmosphere. As he strolled through the village, he heard the sound of music and laughter coming from the village square. Curious, Ifeanyi followed the sounds and soon arrived at the village square. There, he saw a group of girls dancing gracefully. Their movements were synchronized, and their colorful dresses swirled beautifully in the air. Ifeanyi stood at a distance, smiling as he watched them dance. When the dance ended, the girls gathered together, chatting and laughing. Ifeanyi decided to approach one of them, a particular beautiful girl named Masinachi. Her grace and beauty had caught his eye, and he felt a strong desire to speak with her. "Good evening," Ifeanyi greeted politely, hoping to catch her attention. Masinachi glanced at him briefly but did not reply. She continued talking to her friends, ignoring his presence. "Ifeanyi," Ondita tried again. "I just wanted to say that you dance beautifully. Your grace and beauty are truly remarkable. I would love to make you my wife." Masinachi turned to him with a look of surprise and annoyance. "Who are you to talk to me like that?" she demanded. "And who are you to even think of asking for my hand in marriage?" Before Ifeanyi could respond, Masinachi gathered her friends around. "Look at this poor man, oh," she said mockingly. "He thinks he can just walk up to me and propose. How ridiculous." The other girls joined in, laughing and hurling insults at Ifeanyi. "You must be out of your mind," one of them said. "Go back to where you came from." Humiliated and hurt, Ifeanyi turned away and walked home sadly. His heart felt heavy with disappointment. When he reached the inn, Nneka noticed his troubled expression. "Ifeanyi, what happened?" Nneka asked with concern. Ifeanyi sighed deeply and recounted the event of the evening. "I saw a group of girls dancing at the village square. After the dance, I approached one of them. She was so beautiful, and I told her how graceful she danced. I even mentioned that I would like to make her my wife. but she and her friends insulted me and called me a poor man. I felt so humiliated. Neka's eyes softened with sympathy. I am so sorry that happened, Ifeanyi. Some people can be very cruel, but do not let this discourage you. You have a good heart, and I believe you will find someone who sees that. Days turned into weeks, and Ifeanyi continued to face rejection and humiliation from the women he encountered. Each time he tried to talk to a young woman, they looked down on him because of his humble appearance. One afternoon, Ifeanyi sat on the porch of the inn feeling defeated. Maybe this was a mistake. He thought to himself, perhaps I should return home. Nneka, noticing his despair, sat down beside him. Ifeanyi, I know this has been hard for you, but you must not give up. True love is worth fighting for. Keep trying and do not lose hope. Ifeanyi looked at her, appreciating her unwavering support. Thank you, Nneka. Your words always give me strength. I will keep trying. But it is difficult not to feel discouraged. Nneka smiled warmly. I understand, Ifeanyi. But remember, the right person will come into your life when you least expect it. Stay true to yourself and keep believing. With Nneka's encouragement, Ifeanyi decided to continue his quest. He reminded himself of his purpose and the promise he had made to his parents and Chidi. Despite the challenges, he held on to the hope that he would find someone who loved him for who he truly was. The days ahead were filled with uncertainty, but Ifeanyi's spirit remained unbroken. He knew that his journey was far from over, and with each step, he moved closer to discovering the love he sought. The road was difficult, but the promise of true love kept him going, and he was determined to see his journey through to the end. One cool evening, Ifeanyi decided to take a break from his busy day and went to the river to watch the flowing water. The gentle sound of the river and the cool breeze created a peaceful atmosphere. He found a quiet spot by the river bank and sat down, lost in his thoughts. As he sat there, he felt a light tap on his shoulder. Startled, he turned around and saw a young woman standing there, smiling warmly at him. She had a kind face and a gentle demeanor. Hello, she greeted softly. My name is Oriako. I am a daughter of Umudim. Ifeanyi smiled back, feeling a sense of calm in her presence. Hello, Oriako. My name is Ifeanyi. It's nice to meet you. Oriako nodded. I have heard a lot about you, Ifeanyi. I heard you are a trader from a faraway kingdom and that you are looking for a wife. Ifeanyi was surprised. Yes, that's true, but how did you know? Oriako sighed softly. In a village as small as Umudim, news travels fast. I wanted to meet you because I feel we have something in common. Curious, Ifeanyi asked, what do you mean? Oriako looked at the river, her expression turning somber. My family became outcast many years ago. Because of that, I do not join the other women in their meetings, dancing, or social gatherings. I am often alone, just like you seem to be. Ifeanyi felt a point of sympathy for Oriako. I am sorry to hear that, Oriako. It must be very hard for you. Oriako nodded, her eyes reflecting her sadness. It is, but I had learned to live with it. I just wanted to tell you that not everyone in this village is like the others who have treated you poorly. Touched by her words, Ifeanyi shared his own experiences. The women here have rejected me and even humiliated me because they think I'm just a poor trader. It has been very discouraging. Oriako looked at him with understanding. I am sorry you have had to go through that, Ifeanyi. People can be very harsh sometimes, but I believe that there is someone out there who will see you for who you truly are. They continued to talk for a long time, sharing their stories and finding comfort in each other's company. As the sun began to set, They both felt a sense of connection and understanding. Would you like to be friends, Ifanyi? Oriako asked with a hopeful smile. Ifanyi nodded, feeling a warmth in his heart. I would like that very much, Oriako. From that day on, Oriako would visit Ifanyi at Neka's house and at the market too. They would spend time together, talking and supporting each other. Their friendship grew stronger with each passing day. One afternoon, as they walked home together from the market, a group of women saw them and began to mock them. Look at them, Mmasinachi sneered. The poor man and the outcast. They are perfect for each other. Another of her friends laughed. They will always be outsiders. Let them have each other. Oriako and Ifanyi had their cruel words, but they chose to ignore them. They walked side by side, finding strength in their friendship. Do not let their words hurt you, Oriako, Ifanyi said gently. They do not know us, and their opinions do not matter. Oriako smiled at him, her eyes shining with gratitude. I won't, Ifanyi. As long as we have each other, we will be fine. Their bond continued to grow, and they found solace in their shared experiences. They supported each other through the difficult times and celebrated the small joys they found in life. One evening, as they sat on the porch of Neka's house, Oriako looked at Ifanyi with a thoughtful expression. You know, Ifanyi, meeting you has made my life much brighter. I no longer feel alone. Ifanyi smiled warmly. And you have brought so much happiness into my life, Oriako. I am grateful for our friendship. Neka, who had been listening quietly, smiled at them. You both have found something very special in each other. True friendship and understanding are rare gifts. Days turned in 2 weeks, and Ifeanyi and Oriako continued to support each other. Despite the harsh words and judgments from others, they remained strong. They knew that their friendship was built on trust and respect, and nothing could take that away from them. As they faced the challenges of life together, Ifeanyi and Oriako realized that they had found something even more precious than what they had been searching for. They had found a true connection, and in that, they discovered a sense of belonging and happiness. And so, with hope in their hearts and a deep bond between them, Ifeanyi and Oriako looked forward to the future, knowing that they would always have each other's support and friendship. Ifeanyi and Oriako became very close, and soon they agreed to be together. They spent their days side by side, working in the market, taking long walks, and sharing their dreams and hopes. Their love blossomed, growing stronger with each passing day. Oriako found happiness she had never known before, and Ifeanyi felt a deep sense of contentment. Despite their happiness, Mmasinachi and her friends often made fun of them. Look at the poor man and the outcast, they would sneer. They are perfect for each other. But Oriako did not let their cruel words bother her. Let them say what they want, she told Ifeanyi. We know the truth, and that's all that matters. One day, Ifeanyi decided it was time to take the next step in their relationship. With the help of Neka, he arranged a special gathering at the village square. He wanted to make this moment memorable for Oriako and show everyone the depth of his love for her. Neka, Ifeanyi said, I need your help to organize a gathering at the village square. I want to invite Oriako and all the other women of the village. I have something important to say. Neka smiled warmly, understanding the significance of the event. Of course, Ifeanyi, I will help you with everything. The day of the gathering arrived, and the village square was filled with people. Curious villagers gathered to see what the occasion was about. Oriako arrived looking radiant and happy. She was surprised to see so many people but trusted Ifeanyi. As everyone settled in, Ifeanyi stepped forward and took Oriako's hand. Oriako, he said, his voice filled with love and sincerity. Will you marry me? Oriako's eyes filled with tears of joy. Yes, Ifeanyi, I will marry you, she replied happily. Murmurs spread through the crowd. But Ifanyi and Oriako did not care. They were lost in their moment of happiness. Holding Oriako's hand tightly, Ifanyi turned to address the crowd. "People of Umudim," he began, "there is something important I must tell you. I am not just a humble trader. I am Prince Ifanyi of Ebenabo, the richest kingdom in the region." Gasps of surprise echoed through the square. Oriako, Nneka, and everyone else were dumbfounded. They had never suspected that the humble trader was actually a prince. "I disguised myself as a commoner to find a wife who would love me for who I am, not for my title or wealth." Ifeanyi continued. "Oriako has shown me true love and kindness. She has accepted me for who I am, and for that, I am eternally grateful." At that moment, a grand carriage arrived, and Ifeanyi's royal guards stepped forward, bowing to their prince. The villagers watched in surprise as the scene unfolded before their eyes. Mmasinachi, realizing her mistake, came forward, her face filled with regret. "Prince Ifeanyi," she said, bowing her head, "I am so sorry for how I treated you. Please forgive me." But it was too late. Ifeanyi looked at her with calm resolve. "Mmasinachi, your apology is noted, but the way you treated me and Oriako showed your true character. It is important to treat everyone with respect, regardless of their appearance or status." Turning back to Oriako, Ifeanyi smiled. "Oriako, you are the one I choose to be my wife. You have shown me what true love and kindness are." He then turned to Nneka, his eyes filled with gratitude. "Nneka, thank you for your hospitality and kindness. You have been like a mother to me here in Umudim. As a token of my gratitude, I present you with these gifts and treasures." Nneka's eyes filled with tears as she accepted the gifts. "Thank you, Prince Ifeanyi. You have a kind heart. May you and Oriako have a life filled with happiness." With everything settled, Prince Ifeanyi took Oriako by the hand and led her to the grand carriage. The villagers watched in shock as the couple prepared to leave. Ifeanyi turned back one last time, addressing the crowd. "I will always remember the time I spent in Umudim," he said, "and I promise to visit often. Farewell, my friends." As the carriage began to move, Oriako waved to the villagers, her heart filled with joy and excitement. Ifeanyi sat beside her, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. They were leaving Umudim, but they were starting a new journey together. The villagers remained in the square, still processing the day's events. They had witnessed something extraordinary and learned an important lesson about love, kindness, and the true value of a person's character. As the carriage disappeared into the distance, the villagers slowly dispersed, carrying with them the memory of Prince Ifeanyi and Oriako's incredible love story. It was a story that would be told for generations, reminding everyone that true love knows no boundaries and that the heart sees beyond appearances. The prince and Oriako arrived at Ebenabo happily. As their grand carriage rolled through the gates of the kingdom, they were met with joyful cheers of villagers. The streets were lined with people, all eager to catch a glimpse of their beloved prince and his new bride. Colorful banners fluttered in the breeze, and flowers adorned every corner, adding to the festive atmosphere. King Obinna and Queen Ifanyi stood at the palace entrance, beaming with pride and happiness. Chidi, Ifanyi's best friend, was beside them, his face lit up with a broad smile. "Welcome home, Ifanyi," King Obinna called out as the carriage came to a stop. Queen Ifanyi rushed forward, embracing her son tightly. "We have missed you so much, my dear son." Ifanyi smiled, feeling the warmth of his parents' love. "I have missed you too, mother, father. It's good to be home." Chidi stepped forward, giving Ifanyi a friendly pat on the back. "Ifanyi, you did it. Welcome back, my friend." "Thank you, Chidi," Ifanyi replied, his eyes sparkling with happiness. I couldn't have done it without your advice and support. King Obina then turned to Oriako, who stood shyly beside Ifanyi. And you must be Oriako. Welcome to Ebenabo. We are honored to have you here. Queen Ifunanya extended her hand, her eyes filled with kindness. Welcome, Oriako. You are now part of this family. Oriako smiled, her heart swelling with joy. Thank you, Your Majesty. I am honored to be here. The villagers cheered, welcoming Oriako with open arms. They admired her beauty and grace, and their warm reception made her feel at ease. Later that evening, a grand celebration was held in the palace courtyard. The air was filled with music, laughter, and the delicious aroma of traditional dishes. The villagers danced and sang, celebrating the return of their prince and his bride. As the festivities continued, Ifanyi stood up to address the crowd. People of Ebenabo, he began, I have returned with my beautiful wife Oriako. Let me tell you the story of how I found true love. The crowd fell silent, eager to hear the prince's tale. Ifanyi recounted his journey, from disguising himself as a commoner to the challenges he faced in Umudim. He spoke of the rejections, the humiliations, and finally, the moment he met Oriako by the river. I was feeling lost and discouraged, Ifanyi said. When Oriako approached me, she did not judge me by my appearance or status. She saw me for who I truly am, and that is why I fell in love with her. Oriako blushed as Ifanyi spoke, feeling grateful for his kind words. The villagers listened intently, their admiration for the couple growing with each word. I realized that true love is not about wealth or status. Ifanyi continued. It is about kindness, understanding, and seeing the person beneath the surface. Oriako has shown me that, and I am blessed to have her as my wife. The villagers erupted in applause, their hearts touched by the prince's story. They admired Ifanyi's wisdom and humility, and they welcomed Oriako as one of their own. The following day, preparations for the royal wedding began. The palace was adorned with flowers, and the entire kingdom buzzed with excitement. It was to be a wedding like no other, a celebration of love and unity. On the day of the wedding, the palace courtyard was transformed into a magical setting. Colorful fabrics draped elegantly, and flowers of every hue created a breathtaking scene. The villagers gathered, dressed in their finest attire, ready to witness the joyous occasion. Oriako looked stunning in her wedding dress, her beauty radiating like the morning sun. Ifanyi, dressed in his princely robes, stood tall and proud beside her. The ceremony was filled with joy and laughter, and as they exchanged vows, their love for each other shone brightly. King Obina and Queen Ifunanya looked on with pride, their hearts full of happiness. Chidi, standing beside Ifanyi, couldn't help but feel overjoyed for his friend. As the ceremony concluded, the villagers erupted in cheers. Long live Prince Ifanyi and Princess Oriako. They shouted, May they live happily ever after. The celebration continued with a grand feast, music, and dancing. The palace courtyard was alive with merriment, and the love between Ifanyi and Oriako inspired everyone around them. That night, as the festivities wound down, Ifanyi and Oriako stood on the balcony of the palace, looking out of the twinkling light of Ebenabo. Ifanyi, Oriako said softly, I never imagined my life would turn out this way. I am so grateful for everything. Ifanyi smiled, taking her hands in his. Oriako, you have brought so much joy into my life. I am grateful for you every day. Together, we'll face whatever the future holds. And so, Prince Ifanyi and Oriako began their life together, surrounded by the love and support of their family and friends. Their journey had not been easy, but it had led them to a place of true happiness. They lived happily ever after. Their love story a testament to the power of kindness, understanding, and seeing the true value of a person's heart. In this story, we learn an important lesson about love and kindness. Prince Ifanyi wanted to find someone who loved him for who he really was, not because he was a prince. He dressed like a common man and met many people who judged him by his looks and clothes. But Oriako was different. She did not care about how he looked or what he wore. She saw his kind heart and treated him with respect and love. The lesson is that true love and friendship are not about how someone looks or how much money they have. It is about seeing the good inside a person and being kind to everyone, no matter who they are. Ifeanyi and Oriakụ showed us that being kind and looking beyond appearances can help us find real love and happiness. Always remember to be kind and treat everyone with respect, just like Ifeanyi and Oriakụ did. This way, you can make true friends and find happiness in your life. Thank you for watching this amazing story about Prince Ifeanyi and Oriako on African Stories. If you liked it and felt inspired with their journey, please show your support by clicking the like button, sharing with your friends, and leaving a comment below. To see more interesting stories and learn about different cultures, subscribe to African Stories and don't forget to ring the notification bell so you never miss a new story. Your support means a lot and helps us bring more stories to you. Until we meet again, stay connected, stay inspired, and keep smiling.